I don't know when we're gonna roll this, or do we do an intro like last time, or are you just gonna edit that out anyways?
I think I edited you out last time, didn't I? So
Yeah.
He gave this long, fancy intro. It's like, who cares? It's all good. No one's coming.
Well, we're here today at the Brownsville Navigation District, the Port of Brownsville. I'm Ryan Henry, the editor of the Brownsville Herald.
Mike Gonzalez, Executive Director, United Brownsville.
And we're joined today and going to be speaking with Eddie Camperano, the, what is it, CEO, Executive Director?
Port Director.
Port Director.
Yeah.
Not to call him out on it, but I thought he did good on the name.
Yeah,
Oh,
very well.
Eddie Campirano. That was
practicing
good.
it. Yeah.
we practiced off air. But the big thing we want to talk about today is, there's a big celebration going on this weekend, right? What is it?
The port is going to be celebrating its 80th anniversary.
Wow. And you haven't been here the whole 80 years,
No,
right?
no, I
Okay,
haven't.
so you started...
I've actually been, I guess if you look at it from that perspective, I've accomplished 10% of that 80 years.
10%.
Okay.
Are you going to roll out anybody that's been here the whole time?
At the end of my tenure, it'll be 10% of those 80 years.
Awesome.
The actual anniversary date is the 16th of May, but we're going to celebrate it. We've got an event scheduled for tomorrow, which is kind of a kickoff reception, and then the big event will be the 14th, which is this Saturday. And really, there's a couple of things about this event that make it more exciting. One is we've never done anything quite like we're trying to plan, and two, in the face of post 9/11. This is the first opportunity we're really going to have to kind of open up the port to the community where we can get them really behind the gate. We've planned the activities to actually be on the water.
Oh, cool.
Well, and that's one thing. There have been port activities before, but you so you have a yearly annual 5K run.
We do, but
how is this different? How's the access different?
The 5K run is really limited to what would be Old 48. So people never get to go beyond, you never go south of Old 48. So you get to see essentially almost what you can see from the road on U48, and you run and you pass some of the tenants and some of the businesses, primarily, storage tanks of that. But you really don't get to go from there. Well, let's go see what's happening on the water. Are there any ships in
Right.
port? Can we walk on the docks?
Am I going to be able to get in any ship I want and start driving around?
Actually, no, no. But I do understand that the Coast Guard, the Amberjack will be here, and they may be allowing folks to kind of get and see the vessel. It's not a large vessel, but it's stationed here. We may also have, depending on whether the fleet is out or not, but we might be able to have some of the shrimp boats actually come, and if they do come, then they would allow people to kind of get on and see how all that works. But for the most part, a lot of the displays will be static, or you'll actually see working vessels in the water. We're planning doing some boat tours, and we're also planning on doing bus tours. And really, when you drive around and see the port, you kind of get a good feel for it. But when you get a chance to get in the channel and drive up and down the channel, you get an entirely different perspective. So we're excited about the boat tours. One of the things I think people will get a big kick out of is that, we have the aircraft carrier program. Well, 3 of the 4 aircraft carriers that were brought here for recycling are still here. And the closest people could see those aircraft carriers were, when you were seeing them coming in at the jetties,
Right.
or if you saw like the Forest Stall, there was an event where you could go into All-Star Metals, but you still couldn't get really close to it. Well, these boat tours are going to kind of give you a pretty close and personal view.
The 80th celebration, the theme, I guess, would be kind of opening the port up to the community again, just giving them not full access. We can't drive boats around, but giving them a lot more. I remember a story we shared a while back, but you're talking about how, before 9/11, there was a lot more access, and the community really felt, it was their port, because they were able to kind of go into all the little.
In fact,
nooks and crannies.
I saw a historical photo in which, I think it came from the port, but they're actually going out onto the dock when the port was new and being able to welcome ships.
Right.
Oh, cool.
You used to, people used to come fishing here all the time. I grew up fishing at the Port of Brownsville off the docks and, inside what we call the turning basin. I remember as a kid going into the sheds and, and the pigeons. And we just used to have a blast. And well, all of that has changed, especially in what we call the turning basin, the working, developed portion of the port. The port still plays a large recreational amenity in the community. You have a lot of bank fishermen, but that's in areas where there are no docks, there are no
Right.
boats, there are no businesses, and so this will get people into the port
How
in
many
that respect.
how many hoops would we have to jump through to try to get access on a normal day at the point? Port?
On a normal day, well, the great thing, not everything is changing. I mean, you still have certain rules to obey, and one of the rules is that when you show up at the gate to come in, you still have to have an ID.
Hmm.
Of course, if parents are bringing their children, that's a different matter. We don't expect 4-year-olds to present their
Right.
Texas ID or their Texas driver's license, but for the most part, you still have to have some ID that I'm coming into the port. Uh, any government issued ID will work. A high school ID if you're a student would work. It's issued by a government entity. If you work for the city of Brownsville, my city ID will work.
Right.
But most people will show, the adults will show their driver's license. But for the most part, that's about the only real
Requirement.
requirement that we can't totally eliminate. We'll work through it. I think we'll probably relax the rules. We're not going to search every car. We're not going to make open your trunk, pull out your back seats and things of that nature. But
Right.
but for the most part, it will allow people an opportunity to kind of get to where the activity of the port is where we see it on a day to day. And we're actually going to be very busy this weekend. We've had a very busy month of May. I mean, we've got a vessel just about every dock. We've got a windmill vessel in. We've got a vessel at Dock 15 unloading sand. We've got a slab vessel at 16.
Right.
Well, that's not changing. We have a liquid a cargo vessel at the liquid cargo dock. We'll be busy, so we'll be able to see people working. We actually have scheduled an operation at Keppel's sometime Saturday that they're bringing in a rig. There'll be a rig move.
Oh.
We might be able to witness it from the water, seeing that operation. So it gives people an opportunity to see, the working port. What do people do here on a day to day? What's behind that, that fence? And so, this is the first time we've done this in a really kind of big way post 9/11. So we're kind of excited about that, and at the same time have some anxiety about, well, how is this going to work?
So I think the big thing, it is unique, and the community should take advantage of this opportunity. And that's one thing I think you're right. A lot of people drive out, as they're driving along the interstate out there. They see the port, but they've never actually been on it.
Yeah.
They don't really know some of the activities. And this weekend is you guys are really kind of trying to re-engage the community on the operations that are going on out here. So it's a unique opportunity to take advantage of it.
Well, we would hope people take advantage of it. And plus, we have a lot of our stakeholders participating, not only community stakeholders like some of the entities in town that we work with on a day-to-day, the Brownsville Public Utilities Board. The city's
Right.
going to be out here with some of its recreational activities. We've got business partners. We have tenant partners here. We'll have, folks from Transmontane out there. We'll have our stevedores. And so, it's kind of like not only a port community celebration, but it's opening it up to the entire community as well. So I think it's, we're excited about the opportunity.
Have you given any thought that this could be an annual thing, not just your 80th?
That
was
could
a
be
huge sigh by Eddie, but it's
no.
He's
no,
been working hard.
No, but you're right. It could very well be. We've been doing little things more and more on a frequent basis, and one example of that is, we've probably done more tours this year than we've done certainly in the 8 years that I've been here. Whether it's boat tours or more people, let's look. One is we know how to operate within the rules a lot better now. We're, in order to comply with the federal requirements, our staff has been trained in escort training, and so we do a better job of that now. But as that begins to grow more, that opportunity is certainly there. We've even talked about, maybe we need to change the route of our 5K run to, wouldn't it be nice if you got a chance to run along the water? But, there's still issues to deal with in that regard. And the other thing too is that while we may have an opportunity to do some things on Saturday that we would normally not do, we also have to keep in mind that there's some businesses out here that don't shut down just because it's Saturday. There's some operations that are going on because they don't shut down just because it's Saturday. So we have to be mindful that we're not going to interfere or put the public in any kind of harm's way by mixing, the pedestrian traffic with the business traffic. We do a large volume of truck activity here. And so, we have to be mindful of everything that's going on and not to try to create a situation that might be, we don't want to interfere with the working activity. And at the same time, we need to know where people are at all times. So, but yeah, might it create an opportunity to do more and more? It certainly does, I think, create that opportunity for us to look at, okay, what other things could we do on a more frequent basis that would allow us to, kind of get people behind the curtain.
That's good. Annual, good proposition there.
Yeah.
Instead of every 80 years,
yeah.
maybe
No, I
annually.
think, having the Herald as a premium sponsor for the annual,
There you go.
It shouldn't cost us more than $50,000 a year. I mean, the Herald? I mean, that's a lot of papers, but you guys can pull that off.
Let's see.
Make a note of that.
Note to publisher.
Sure the publisher
really.
will love to hear that.
Well, down here, any successful festival can't be just one day.
Yeah,
you're going to have to make a week out of it, like Turtle Days and Sombrero Festival.
Well, that begins to, again, that gets back to the issue is that we still got people working out here, and so, but there could be things. I mean, we did our 5K. We kind of use that as a very preliminary to say, this kind of kicks to some degree. We have an 80th coming, come back, and it'll be bigger and better, and so we'll have those opportunities.
So it's been 80 years. What is or was in that 80 years the golden year?
Well, that probably is generational and depends on who you ask.
Right.
I've heard so much about when cotton was king at the port of Brownsville, and how busy the 50s and the 60s, and when vessel traffic was a lot of vessels, had 8 pilots working. But you also have to keep in mind that probably at that period, your vessels were a lot smaller than they are today. So you might have had a lot of vessels, but a lot smaller vessels, whereas now you might have one vessel that could replace 3 or 4 vessel calls. But I hear a lot of people talk about that era. At some point in time, that transition away from agriculture to what we do now. Petroleum has always played a big role in the port. That's always been something, but it seems to be something that's much more prominent today than perhaps it would have been, 20 years ago.
So we're past the 10-minute mark, but I guess in closing this segment, can you just give a quick recap of this weekend coming up, just for people that are thinking about coming out here, what to expect, just real quick. Okay. Doors open when and what date? And all
doors open at 10 o'clock. We're planning on being here from 10 to 4. Come and enjoy, take advantage of, not only being able to walk on the docks and being right on the water, seeing some of the activities that occur on a day-to-day.
Shrimp.
We won't have all you can eat shrimp, but we'll have food out here. It will be free food. HEB is going to be out here also doing some food, as well as, what we were doing, but drinks, music. We'll have, like I said, the boat tours, bus tours, opportunities to mingle with some of the businesses out here, ask questions about what they do and how they do, and just kind of really enjoy the day.
Make a day out of it, bring the kids out.
Make a day out of it.
And access is free if you've got an ID.
Access is free. You need to bring a government-issued ID.
Perfect.
Driver's license is fine as long as it's valid, and I gotta say, valid means that it's not expired.
Are you allowed to take photos while you're inside?
You'll be able to take photos for the most part. Yes. We will. It'd be very hard to say you can't take photos. So
do you have an Instagram hashtag going yet?
Yeah, no, we don't. I'll leave that to the communications folks. But for the most part, you'll be able to do photos.
Perfect.
And maybe record the day, especially if you get a chance to make one of the boat tours and record the day. And we get a lot of people that come and reminisce about the port. We've seen that a lot in the past about, my dad worked here, my grandfather worked here, or
cool.
We hear a lot of that. So it's kind of exciting to be able to plan this activity.
Hashtag port at 80, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
We need to get something
perhaps,
going. I think that'd be a good thing. It's as people come out to take photos, get a hashtag going just so they can kind of like connect with the port, but also kind of, it goes on beyond that one day. I think that'd be neat. Well, again, Eddie, thanks for taking the time. And it sounds like there's 2 commitments, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Look forward to seeing everybody out here on Saturday.
Great.
All right. Thanks, Eddie.